Hey y'all, welcome back to Today is Booked. It's me, your host, Chelle, and it just really seems like I haven't podcasted in so long for some reason, but that's just not the case. And it also feels really weird not having Whitley on. I just feel naked almost, but clearly I'm not. But back for another solo episode. Exciting. It's just me, myself, and I. Whitley, where are you? Kidding. But Whitley will be back on in a couple weeks. I'm just doing my own thing. I'm being a solo gal, but she will be back for a couple of books, actually. We have some things planned. We're booked, we're busy, and we're moving into some contemporary romance. This is my bread and butter. I'm so excited. As you can tell by the title, this episode is going to be about Every Summer After by Carley Fortune. This is my first Carley Fortune book too. It's the first book that she ever came out with. She's only has 3. And I started Meet Me at the Lake. I gotta pause and start reading This Summer Will Be Different because I'm actually going to Carley Fortune's event on Thursday, and I'm so excited about that. So I put a pause on Meet Me at the Lake. This episode, I'm going to be discussing all things Every Summer After. But before I dive into that, y'all already know, I'm going to go ahead and yap about what I've been booked with, any books that I've bought, my latest obsessions, what I'm currently reading, which I literally just told you guys. My bad. I'm jumping the gun over here. This is what happens when I'm just alone by myself. I just go off the rip. But let's see, what your girl's been booked with. The usual tennis. And let me just tell you, it is hot out here in Scottsdale. I don't even know how to describe it to people because they're like, how do you live there? And I'm just like, good question. Well, one, the sun is shining pretty much every day and it's beautiful. No seasonal depression over here, but summertime is another game. You literally step outside and your skin is hot to the touch. You just have to experience it for yourself. What else I've been booked with besides tennis, work, doing my thing, which might I add has been pretty stressful. So I'm like super busy and I'm juggling my job, tennis, and having a podcast, reading books. Having a podcast is kind of like having another full-time job. I'm the talent. I'm the producer, editor, creator, like brains. It's hard work over here. I don't want to say I don't do well with stress, but like, does anybody do well with stress? Like, who wants stress in their body? Like, you can literally feel it and it's just not a good time. But when I get overwhelmed and stressed, I just want to snack and eat candy and all the bad foods, which not a good look for your girl. Because remember, I was trying to cut back on the sugar intake, but also I've been doing really well with that. I haven't gotten any chunk cookies this whole month. So I'm so proud of myself. But I just feel like I'm definitely getting my personality back. And I just am so excited about that. I was getting burnt out and now I'm feeling good again. So my personality is back. She's coming full throttle. As Whitley would say, I'm hot off the press. Okay. Also, I traveled to Atlanta for the first time and Atlanta was cool. That was my first time there. One, the airport is a freaking zoo. It's a zoo. Yeah. So I had a fun time in Atlanta. A lot of my friends live in Atlanta and it was just great to see them. There's just something about your hometown friends that just grounds you, not even grounds you, just like the people that know you best. There's just something about being around your people. I just love it. And so I was there for one of my really good friends, his wedding receptions. Yeah, so I got to explore Atlanta and be with my friends and have a great time. And now I'm back in Scottsdale doing the day-to-day basic stuff, tennis, work, being a dog mom, trying to go on dates, read books. So I've been booked. Let's go ahead and get into my latest obsessions because I don't want to spend too much time on me. I have a lot to talk about in this book, but my latest obsessions are definitely just getting into my June routine. And I will say I did falter a little bit. I did. Not even gonna lie. When you go out of town and then you come back and then you just have so much to catch up on, it's not fun. So I'm getting back into the swing of things. I'm getting my personality back. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great. Yeah. Live, laugh, love. Also, I'm just in a little coastal cowgirl era. I'm loving all things country, all things cowboy. So that's lately what I've been obsessed with. And then, like I mentioned before, I was reading Meet Me at the Lake, but I'm going to do a little pause on that and start this summer will be different so I can be prepared for Carley Fortune's event. But I feel like that's enough about me. Let's chat about every summer after because I got a lot to say. If you are interested in reading this book, I suggest you pause right now because it will have some spoilers. If you haven't read the book or don't know what it's about, it's a contemporary romance novel and it follows the story of Percy or Persephone and Sam Florrick, who spent 6 summers together at Barry's Bay. Their friendship evolves into an intense relationship that leads to years of separation. This book alternates between past summers and present day as they reunite and confront their unresolved feelings. So this book is really giving second chance romance. You know, if anybody wants a second chance romance, my DMs are open. Just kidding. This book takes place in Canada. So Percy's family bought a cottage on the lake, and so they go back every summer, and Sam and Charlie live next door, but they're locals, and so Percy only sees Sam every summer. And Sam and Percy are the same age. Charlie is 2 years older, so Sam and Percy just spend a lot of time together. They become fast friends, and you can just tell that their friendship is going to lead to, you know, that friendship that turns into a blossoming relationship and then goes downhill. Percy and Sam's relationship, it was just so cute and innocent. Just the way that she made him a little friendship bracelet and he always wore it, and how they would always like swear on it and do the little pinky thing and swear on it. Percy was into writing and horror movies, and then Sam was into like academics and being a doctor because his dad died from a heart attack, so he wanted to be a cardiologist. Let me just go ahead and start. I did rate this book 5 stars. Don't come for me. Don't come for me. I rated it 5 stars and I am standing on that 5-star rating because if you know my rating system, 5 stars for me is I absolutely loved it, forever favorite, lives rent free in my head, read it or miss out. That's my 5-star rating. And now that I'm thinking about it, I mean, I did love it. Okay, now I'm reading my 4-star rating, which is liked it a lot, but fell short somehow. Highly recommend. It did fall short for me in the epilogue, and I mean, that's about it. I mean, I was upset about some parts, which I will discuss, but right now I'm going to stick with my 5-star rating. So things I loved about the book, I loved the alternating timelines from past to present day. I love that. I like how it started in the present and then it took us back through the summers, how they met and their relationship and all that stuff to present day, to being at Sam's mom's funeral and them reconnecting, and it was just good. Another thing I loved, the characters. Did I fall in love with Sam? Yes, I did. Of course I did. Although I will say Charlie was a little cutie. I did love Charlie's personality and his antics of picking on Percy and just saying the most out of pocket shit. And I also liked the relationship between Sam and Percy. It was so cute and innocent. The friendship between Sam and Percy, it really brought me back to me growing up in Florida. I had neighbors and they were boys, and one was my age and one was a year younger. And it just really made me think about how I had friendship with them and how they like taught me how to play lacrosse. And then I got into lacrosse, and then like we were just always hanging out, like watching movies, playing video games, like, and those friendships are just so innocent and fun, and you're just young. And did I have a crush on them? Yes, I did. So funny to look back and think about and reminisce on. But anyways, I'm not gonna do what Whitley and I usually do. I'm just gonna talk about like certain things in the book that I'm just like, why? Or like, oh my God, I love that. So when I found out why Percy and Delilah weren't friends anymore, because not Percy making them watch a scary horror movie and then Delilah peed on herself and then was like, okay, we're not friends anymore. Like, I'm pretty sure Percy wasn't going to tell on her, like spread a rumor, like Delilah peed on herself when I made her watch a scary movie. But whatever, you know how it is when you're in middle school. So that was funny. But I did like how they eventually became friends again. So like the evolution of Percy and Delilah's friendship too. Even though in college, or them going into college, yeah, they were in college and Percy was not friends with her because Percy was being a little bee. And another thing is when Delilah came to the cottage one weekend, and I really thought she was going to try and go with Sam, and I was going to get so upset. But she was like flirting with Charlie, and then she was kind of flirting with Sam for a second because I remember Percy kind of had like a little boyfriend, but I don't think it was at that same time. But I was just like, Delilah, you know better. You should know Percy has a crush on Sam. Like, how close are y'all? When Delilah dared Sam to kiss Percy and he didn't, and then Charlie came in and kissed Percy, and that was her first kiss. I know Sam was seething. I know he was, but he didn't do anything about it, and he never brought it up. And of course, Percy was like, that was my first kiss. Honestly, my question of the book, Sam, what are you doing? Sam, what are you doing? This is what guys do. They will just like, Sam was crushing on Percy so hard this whole time, waited until she had a boyfriend, and then she had to be like, I like my boyfriend, but I like somebody more. And he's like, who? And she was like, I think you know who. And he's like, who? And she's like, you. Like, duh, you know that. I'm not even gonna get into it. I'm not gonna get into it. I'm not. Now is not the time for that. Also, another thing that had me, what? Honestly, I didn't expect this, that Percy had sex with Charlie. She really just went and did that. She really went and did that because Sam was like, I need a little bit of space. Let's only talk once a week. And then Percy's like, oh God, blah, blah. I don't know if he wants to break up, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, did he say he wanted to break up? Did he? And so then this is them going into college. Summer before they were going into college. Freaking Charlie's already in college and he knows. But I feel like Charlie low-key had a little crush on Percy the whole time. But Sam was just being dumb, which Charlie was like, Sam's a freaking idiot. Agreed. But yeah, so Percy invites Charlie inside, asks if he wants to have a beer. And I don't think it was just one time. It sounded like it was multiple times because I remember Percy's mom gave her a box of condoms, and I think she said she woke up and she was like, those are the wrong eyes, and then there's condoms everywhere. And I was like, oh, she didn't just do it once. And of course, that was her first time, and it wasn't with Sam. It was with Sam's brother. Really? Really? I was thinking like the whole time it was going to be like she got pregnant on accident and decided to give up the baby or something like that. I didn't think she was out there spreading her legs for Charlie. So I got really upset at that. Really put a sour taste in my mouth about Percy. And then we find out that Sam knew. Pause. Okay, so Percy hooks up with Charlie. Sam comes back home, or to the cottage, Barry's Bay, and is like, I'm so sorry. I don't know why I did that. I was just like stressed out about college. Like everybody's smart, like when you go into college. But he was doing like a summer program. He was getting a taste before like freshman year started, but he was going through it. He was homesick. He was not the smartest. You're in college, bro. He had to step it up. And Percy's like trying to talk 24/7 and, it wasn't happening. So he comes home because he's feeling bad. He's like, oh my God, I can't believe, like I said, we should only talk for once a week, apologizing. And he proposes to her. Meanwhile, she just had sex with his brother, probably multiple times. And so he proposes, and she's like, I don't think that's a good idea. Does she tell him that she mistakenly had his brother? No, she doesn't. She doesn't. And guess what? Sam knows. He knows. And you find out this revelation in the present because, okay, so like I said, it's alternating timelines, past, present. So we're seeing in the past them building this friendship every summer. And then the present is that Charlie calls Percy and is like, our mom passed away. We would like you to come to the funeral. So she comes to Barry's Bay, and then she sees sees Sam for the first time in like, I think it's 10 or 12 years. I remember when she first saw Sam and she in the present and she was like, Sam is sexy. And I was like, I would like to see Sam. So in the present, they're just kind of reconnecting, but she still hasn't brought it up. Like, Sam knew the whole time, which is kind of annoying. And they just wasted so much time, which really kind of ticks me off. Okay, so they end up having sex. And then she's like, Percy says to Sam, I have to tell you something. And she basically just said that she hooked up with Charlie all those years ago. And he was basically like, I know. And then she has a panic attack. And also another part that I didn't really care for is, so they're in college and Delilah goes to the same university as Sam. And Percy's like, if you ever see him, let me know. So Delilah sees Sam. Sam hits on Delilah and Delilah calls Percy and tells her what Sam did. And she was basically like, no, you're a slut. And I was like, oh, I mean, I wouldn't call Delilah a slut. Is she a little flirty? Yeah. You had sex with your best friend / boyfriend's brother. So that's the pot calling the kettle black. Right there, that is the pot calling the kettle black. Delilah, good for Delilah, because she stuck up for herself and she was like, I know that you're in a vulnerable place right now, but when you're ready to say sorry, call me back. Percy never called her back. Then when we get to the epilogue, you find out that Percy reaches out to Delilah, and I'm just like, girl, if that was me, it's a little too late. She was like, I'm wondering what took you so long. Girl, I already forgot about you, because that's messed up. And let me just say, the epilogue, it just felt a little rushed. It was underwhelming. Like, I needed a little more than their relationship, them getting back together, and it's been a little hard. I wanted a little more. You know what would be really cool? If Carley Fortune came out with an Every Summer After POV of Sam. Like, I want Sam's point of view. That would be so cool. Yeah, but there were a lot of good little quotes in this book. My God. So this is the part where he came back and proposed and he said, not many people meet the person they're meant to be with when they're 13, but we did. You know we did. I want you now and I want you forever. I think about it all the time. I think about traveling and getting jobs and having a family, and you're always there with me. You have to be there with me, he said, his voice cracking and his eyes moving over my face for a sign that I'd changed my mind. You might not always feel that way, Sam, I said. You've pushed me away before. I'm so sick of Percy. She just had to ruin it. She just had to ruin it. And I just think like all this could have been avoided if Sam would have just been like, I know that you hooked up with my brother. I forgive you. Like, but I do love you still. And I messed up too. And I want you to marry me. Communication, guys. Communication is key. Communication is key. Come on. Which they were not communicating well. It would also be cool if this became a movie or even a TV series. Yeah, so overall, I really enjoyed the book. Like, I didn't want to stop reading it. It definitely kept me hooked. I think it was the alternating timelines, the present, the past. I also just really, I was rooting for Sam. I just loved Sam. Yeah, I think it was overall 5 out of 5 stars. I mean, I could give it a 4.5, but I'm highly recommending it. It's definitely going to live rent-free in my head for a while because one, like I said, the epilogue was a little rushed. I want a little more. The epilogue just didn't like seal it for me. Yeah, they're together. Yay. I know she said that they're still having a little bit of issues, which is to be expected. And I did like how they, in the epilogue, it was like a year later and they went and did Sam and Charlie's mom's ashes and all that. And then it just kind of like caught us up to speed. But I needed a little more. Even though I do have beef with how things played out, I didn't want Percy to hook up with Charlie. Like, why did she have to hook up with the brother? Why couldn't she have just gone back to her ex-boyfriend or something? So annoying. Yeah, so I'm glad I finally got this book off my TBR. I'm about to Zoom read through all the other Carley Fortune books. So now I want to go through some of the Goodreads ratings just to see what other people say and compare it to what I was thinking. A lot of people are saying like copyright infringement. I'm going to skip those shows. That's not my line of business. Oh, okay, so this review is from Maddie Tales. She rated it 2 stars a year ago. I loved the flashbacks. I hated the plot twist and Percy's biggest regret. I did not enjoy the ending at all, especially because it was so fast-paced. Agree. I think she's talking about the epilogue. Sam and Percy should not have ended up together. Okay, I low-key kind of agree with that because I'm like, you went all this time and then you knew. I get that people will forgive and forget things loved ones did to them, but Sam deserved better. Agree. I know why Percy ended up in that situation in the first place, but I am not even going to lie. That's no excuse, and it was excused. Sam was way too eager, but his emails made sense on what he wanted to focus on. Charlie annoyed me throughout the entire book, and I don't know how to feel about Percy's best friend. I was really confused on what the plot twist was going to be, and it ruined Percy's character for me and any good things I liked and praised about her. I don't get Sam and why he forgave her, especially after so many years. Okay, her talking about the plot twist is her hooking up with Charlie, which I agree. I was not expecting that plot twist either. Like I said, I thought she was going to be like pregnant or something like that. And then, yes, I agree that the ending was very fast paced. It felt kind of like, okay, we're just going to wrap it up. Do I think Sam and Percy should have ended up together? Debatable. See, if that was me, okay, so if I was Sam and my brother had sexual relations with someone that was still my girlfriend, cut. No, absolutely not. That is unforgivable. They weren't even, but I don't get. I know Percy was in her feelings. He was just like all distraught, like emotional, but Charlie, one, should have known better. Now that Charlie, now I'm getting pissed all over again because now I'm upset with Charlie because I really was like vibing with Charlie in the beginning and then he had to go and do this. So now I'm just like the only character I kind of like at the end of the day is Sam, even though Sam could have stepped it up. He was effing around the whole time. Not like effing around on somebody, but he was just like, I get he was young and he was just like, we're such good friends. Like, I don't want to ruin anything. We have our whole lives, which is true. They did not need to rush into a relationship in high school or anything like that. Live, laugh, love, go live your life. We'll reconnect, but I don't know. And then I also get why Sam wanted to focus on his studies when he was in college. I think he could have emailed or actually, I wish he wouldn't have even emailed her. I wish he would have just called her and explained all that instead of sending her an email. She said, I don't know how to feel about Percy's best friend. Yeah, Percy's best friend was a hit or miss. Delilah was a little too fast for Percy. I really loved all the characters in the beginning of the book, and now that I'm sitting here reflecting, the only one I really am here for is Sam and Charlie's dead mom, R.I.P., and low-key Sam. I will say the character development in the book was a little at loss. Like a lot of the character development was throughout the past, but not really in the present. Well, we did get that with Percy and her new friend Chantel, I think her name was. Not much character development in the future. This is why I can't read reviews before I read the book because whole perception is skewed. Okay, I'm gonna read one more review and it's from Carla. If I could give this book 10 stars, I would. This was hands down the best book I've read in what feels like months. When I bought this book, I knew people were already loving it, but I did not expect to love it as much as I did. More than just a good summer read. This was a beautiful story about second chances and the love between two people that manages to stay intact even after not seeing each other for over a decade. This story is about childhood best friends that share a once-in-a-lifetime connection from day one. However, Percy, the main character, makes a huge mistake that leads to them ending not just their relationship, but their friendship. The book does an amazing job at taking you through the past and the present. The past was all the summers that led up to their falling out at 17 years old. The present is them now at 30 years old being forced to reunite for the sad reason of someone special to both of them passing away. The reason for their falling out was kept a mystery throughout the book, which made it impossible to put down. I could talk about this book for hours. Oh well, I'm obsessed with this book. The comments people leave on other people's reviews. Jesus. Goodreads can be toxic. It can. That's why I be posting short reviews on Goodreads because I don't need anybody attacking me for a book that I like. I like Carla's review. I think what kept me reading too was the mystery. Like I was like, okay, what the hell did Percy do? Just reading a couple of reviews and just like reminiscing. I think I'm going to I'm going to knock it down 4.5 out of 5. No, I really did like it. I did like it. I'm not changing. I won't change it. Okay. I'm recommending it. And that's a wrap on me yapping about Every Summer After by Carley Fortune. Make sure you're following Today is Booked on Instagram and where you listen to your podcast as well. Give us a like, give us a review, support. Okay, I think that's it. Remember, today is booked and tomorrow isn't looking good either.